what is going on with men nowadays. Back then, it was your ability to go hunt, your ability to provide, your ability to shelter. Nowadays, we have this. You don't have to do anything to showcase your value in order to find somebody to be with. At the end of the day, guys, several different people are responsible for this, right? And today, we're gonna talk about who those people are. And keep in mind, as we're going down this list, guys, if it applies and if it stings, it's probably because it's true. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beret Chronicles show. Today, we got a good one for you guys, right? We're gonna talk about how men, the current state that they're in, how they got to that point, right? Then we're gonna talk about what can they actually do about it. Can they change the current projection that they're on, the current path that they're on, and will the military be able to affect that? And then we're gonna discuss, guys, my path in special operation, how that has helped me thrive within the civilian sector, post-retirement. Because I'm telling you right now, guys, my intent is to die on E. I'm gonna try it all, and I'm gonna showcase to you guys how my experience has helped me thrive in the business space once I retired, right? Guys, if this is your first time watching me, my name is Dorleus. I'm a retired U.S. Army Green Beret, and the intent behind this channel is to coach, teach, and mentor the next generation of soft soldiers. So if you get any value out of this, guys, like, subscribe, and share the video. I would greatly appreciate it, right? With all that said, guys, let's jump right into this one, right?
Let me interject here real quick. I got a couple of super chats on the Cash App from someone named Adam Shadoff trying to bash my friend's coffee company, which is not good. Apparently he is offended because the coffee is called Dark Arts. Well, let me tell you something, dude. Dark Arts, if you would have watched the live stream on Sunday, the Dark Arts is spycraft, okay? So pull your panties out of your wad. That's what it refers to. And it's a coffee cup. You're looking down at the coffee because 99% of the world doesn't have handles on the coffee. If you want to look at something as a conspiracy, go for it. But before you do that, let me show you this. You don't go for my friends or family. I'll come for you. I'll ban your ass so fast you won't even know what happened. Globally sourced, mission ready. Good friend of mine, Dorleus, retired Green Beret. He's from Haiti. He was in New York City as a 13-year-old kid when the Twin Towers went down. 6 out of his 7 siblings have served this country. And he's got a foundation now. And if you notice, all the names of the coffee have something to do with a spy process. Dead drop, honeypot, brush pass, cold bump. If you knew anything, you'd know what he was talking about. He was on here talking about this very thing. Let me show you something else that the guy does. Okay? Look at this one. Dark Arts Coffee Foundation. He helps veterans get into housing and get veterans off the street. Okay? So if you want to make your $2 donations on Cash App and try to insult someone, you insulted the wrong frickin' guy. Dorleus is a damn good dude. Dark Arts Coffee Foundation.
What is going on with men nowadays? Because I have a saying that states that men will always rise and fall to the level that they need to in order to get laid. Back then, it was your ability to go hunt, your ability to provide, your ability to shelter that dictate whether or not you are going to be able to mate with somebody, right? Nowadays, things has dramatically changed, right? All you got to do now is have a computer, have a phone, and you go to the hub and you get the same dopamine hit. You get the same feeling that you typically get when you're with a woman, right? Nowadays, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything to showcase your value in order to find somebody to be with. And what that's done is it has essentially destroyed the manly men as we know it, right? Nowadays, we have this, right? It is what it is, guys. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying we need to course correct. At the end of the day, guys, several different people are responsible for this, right? And today, we're going to talk about who those people are. And keep in mind, as we're going down this list, guys, if it applies and if it stings, it's probably because it's true, right? Because oftentimes you don't get offended and you don't get upset at things that don't apply to you. So if this stings and it hurts, it probably means that it applies. And if it does, that's all right, man, right? Once you realize that this is you, this is something that you're doing, just go to work and fix it. It's as easy as that, man. Like once you start to realize your faults and your wrongdoing, then you can go to work to fix it. If you don't and you just keep playing dumb, nothing's gonna change, and this world's gonna just keep getting filled of weak men. All right, and we all know what weak men lead to. Weak men lead to mass shootings, right? Weak men lead to civilizations falling. Weak men leads to a generation full of pieces of shit. All right, and I don't want that to be this generation, not in this country. So with all that said, guys, let's get into some of the reason why we are seeing what we are seeing today. And the very first thing is going to be father figures, guys. Father figures have stopped leading within the household. As a man, keep in mind, you are responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen within your household, right? As a father, you are the standard bearer. You are the line holder. You have to showcase to your kids what right looks like. It starts in the household. If you're not doing that and you're expecting everyone else to educate your son, to raise your son, to make them an honorable person, then you fail, right? Because it's your job. You should be doing that, not the internet, right? Not Jay on YouTube. That's not my job. It's your job. And if you're not doing it, guess what? Somebody will do it for you. And oftentimes, you're not going to like the outcome, guys. So you have to be able to do that. As a father, there are 3 things that every son should have for their fathers. 3 things. The very first one is going to be respect. Every young man should respect their father. However, you as a father needs to show them how to earn that respect, and you have to earn their respect, because we all know as a man, respect is what? It's earned. So if you don't earn his respect, he's not going to respect you. And if he doesn't respect you, how is he supposed to respect himself and everyone else? Keep that in mind, guys. Respect is the very first one. The second one is going to be love. As a young man, you have to love your father. And as a father, you have to be worthy of that love. Meaning there's a lot of different things that you have to do so your son can love you. You can't be a piece of shit man, or else he's not going to love you, right? And last is fair. Every young man should fear their father. They should know that if push comes to shove and I start acting crazy, my father's going to take me and put me through that wall and get my ass straight. All right? If you have those 3 things, you are raising someone that's going to be a net positive to society, right? Respect, love, fair. Every young man needs to have and experience those. If you have those, then you're good to go. If you don't, then you need to go to work and fix whatever's going on, right? Next, we have, guys, fathers have stopped being the example, which is why we are seeing what we are seeing today in today's young men. Fathers have stopped being the example for their kids, right? Whether that's through leading, whether that's through communicating, whether that's doing the right thing, they stop being the example, right? And the easiest way to gauge this is, hey, fathers, what do you look like, right? I'm not up here to fat shame anybody, but fathers, what do you look like, right? Do you look like somebody that your son should be proud of? If the answer is no, then you got some work to do, man. You can't tell your son to get in shape and go to the gym when you look like you are, when you're not doing it. All he's going to do is say, yeah, whatever, dad, you're telling me to do it, but you're not doing it yourself. Fuck off. That's exactly what he's thinking. He might not say it to you, but if you want to tell him to go do something, then you got to be able to do it yourself. Guys, before my son goes to sleep every night, guess what he's doing? Push-ups, sit-ups, squats. Because I want him to get in that mindset of, hey, I'm training my body. As I'm training my body, I'm also training my mind. As I'm training my body and I'm getting tougher physically, my mind is also getting stronger, right? That's how young it needs to start. Another thing that has caused men to be the way that they are right now is fathers have stopped challenging their son, right? You don't put your son in a position to where they have to do hard things. So they don't know what adversity looks like. They don't know how to overcome adversity. In order for them to experience what life is going to be like later on, you need to slowly start putting them in a situation where they have to deal with difficulty, right? And you need to be there as the QRF to support, right? See how they do, because eventually you're not going to be around. And if when you're not around is the first time they face adversity and something tough, they're going to crumble. At least if you start putting through it right now, you're around to help guide them through it. You're around to help support. You know what they need to work on. But if you're around and you never put them through any of that, and then when they do need you, when they're older, right, you're gone, and now they have to face adversity, they don't know how they're going to react to it, right? And that's when things get out of hand. Last but not least, as far as why fathers are the reason why we are seeing the current state of man that we are seeing is because fathers don't stand for anything. Fathers don't have any standards. They don't have any non-negotiables. They don't have anything integrity-wise that they stand for. They don't have anything that says, hey, as a father or as a man, these are 5 things that I do not stand for. And then they need to pass those on to their kids. As a man, I will not hit a woman. Pass that down to your kid. As a man, I will not let you guys get disrespected in front of me. Pass that down as a man. You have to have a list of things that you believe in that you need to pass on to your heirs, to your kids, because that is going to be your legacy. So whatever it is that your father instilled in you, you need to take those and instill in them and keep that tradition going. If you don't have anything, it's not a bad thing. You just need to go to work and create a set of non-negotiables that you are willing to die for and pass them on to your kids. All right, that's just part of being a man and raising someone else to become a man. You got to have something to pass down to. All right, the next thing we're going to hit on as far as why this current generation of man is who they are is because of society, right? The system that society has created. And when I say society has created, I'm just going to go out and say the system that man has created, right? Because as a man, we are responsible for anything and everything that happens within our society, within our surrounding, right? So the very first thing is going to be female teachers, guys. So tell me this, guys, why are majority of the educators female? Why is that? It started as early as World War I, where all the males would go off to fight and all the educators became female. Fast forward years and years later, still the same dynamics. Majority of the educators are women. What does that do? At a very young age, you have male being told by female to sit down and shut up and do what they're supposed to do. Now just think about if that young man doesn't have a father figure in his life, or his father is no longer home, or he passed away, or he just doesn't want to be part of their lives anymore. Now you have a young man from a very early age being groomed to listen, to sit down, to shut up, to do what he's supposed to do. And that young man grows up to be whoever, without a father figure ever being in his life to show him what a man is supposed to do. There has to be a good balance there. I'm not saying that having women in the classroom is a bad thing. However, there has to be a father at home to counteract that. And fathers, if you're so busy that you're not paying attention to your son at home, now you have a teacher, women, mom, women, father out working, not present with his kid. If you're not there to counteract that, guys, you might not get the quality of men, the quality of boys that you want later on in life. It is what it is. Think about that one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, right? Another thing within this society that has essentially made men who they are today as far as the quality of boys that we're seeing is, social media, right? There's been a movement going on that has told young men that if they are speaking their minds, if they have certain values, if they are being who they are, that it's considered toxic, right? And what that has done is, especially with social media and everybody want to be liked by everybody, is it has reverted young men to a shell of themselves. They can't be who they are. They can't speak their minds without being called toxic, without being called asshole, without being called whatever, right? And like I said earlier, guys, men will raise and fall to the level that they need to in order to get laid, right? So when a young man is hearing that all the time from females and whatever females want, guess what, man? They're going to become whoever they need to become, metrosexual this, metrosexual that, tight pants and all that crap, so they can get some booty. It is what it is, right? Now let's talk about some other factors, again, that has made men into what they are today. I'm not saying this list is all inclusive, but from what I've seen and what I've studied, this has a lot to do with it, right? Again, porn is going to be a big one, guys. As men, you no longer have to do hard shit in order to get laid, right? You can just go in the hub, find something, and bam, there you go, right? You get the same dopamine hit as you would if you were with a female, right? There it is. With that in the picture now, guys, boys are just staying home in their mother's basement, just freaking doing dumb shit. They no longer have to go out and do hard things, right? They no longer have to do any of that. Another factor is the internet itself, guys. Now, guys can say whatever they want to say and not have to deal with repercussions, right? They can get on the comments and start talking about crap. They can get in the comments and say whatever they want to say and no one's going to punch them in the face, right? That has created a false reality for men nowadays. They think like doing that is tough when in reality it's not, right? If you want to call somebody out and call them whatever, when you see them in person, say it to their face and see what happens, because that's how life works. Men nowadays have a false reality on what real men are or what a real tough guy is, because they think it's being online, talking back and forth through the keyboard, and they think like, hey, that's the norm. That means I'm tough, right? Because I'm able to get in the comments and say, hey, F you. That's not it at all, guys. Way back, you say something to somebody's face, and you might end up getting punched in the face, right? And you just go back at it, and that was the norm. But that is no longer a thing, guys. Another thing that really has destroyed men is this whole notion of playing video games all the damn time, right? Living in a ultimate reality, as opposed to living the life that you currently have. always escaping into a different world to go, play games, right? As if life itself is not enough for you. You have to escape. That shit has really done the numbers on young men nowadays, right? Guys, live your life. Stay away from the video games, right? At least don't get addicted to it. I stopped playing video games after the 8th grade. I ain't touched one since. And if you're a grown man and you're addicted to that stuff, man, you really need to give it up, right? And last but not least, drugs. Goes without saying. That shit will destroy you. I know it helps you escape and all that other crap, but as a man, you don't need that shit, man. And if you are hooked on it, go get the help you need. And nowadays, video game and porn has become the new drug for young men, which is why we're seeing what we're seeing today, right? So how do we fix all of that? Is there a way to actually fix what's going on, to course correct? In my opinion, there is one last frontier that young men nowadays can gravitate to in order to save themselves and hopefully save this country. And that's going to be the military, guys. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I see the military as a place that any young man can go to test their mettle. I still think our military is still where it needs to be in order to help any and every young man out there get character, get integrity, become honorable. I still think that the military will do that for you in 2025. And I know what you guys are going to say. There's a lot of vets out there that have bitter taste in their mouths that say, hey, the military is not, for my son, I had a horrible time. It's this, it's that. Check it out. Do not pass on your experience from your military time to your kids, right? Do not score them. That particular experience was yours and yours alone to own. Let your kids go have their own adventure. Let them experience what they need to experience, right? Just because you had a bad stay at it doesn't mean that they will. Because keep in mind, we joined and we served during the global war on terrorism era, right? 2025, the military is completely different, right? How it was when I went in, guys, it's not how it is now. I can tell you right now, we joined during wartime. Everything that we did was to prepare us to go to Iraq or Afghanistan. 2025, there's no wars going on. There's a bunch of different gray zone events, pockets of like PSYOP and gray zone conflicts going on. But as far as invading, 2 separate countries and being deployed every 6 or so months, that's no longer going on. These guys are going to have a different experience. And I can guarantee you, when they join, especially with what Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is doing, they're going to experience discipline, right? They're going to experience structure. There's going to be some standard. And then more importantly, guys, they're going to experience community. There's nothing like being around a group of other men, a group of other teenagers, a group of other boys that are trying to test their mettle and push each other. I can tell you right now, I have a community of dudes that I hang out with, and those guys are thinking at the highest level, and all it does is pushes me to want to be better. If you don't have that as a man and all you have is porn and video games, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna be a net positive dude to society, right? It is what it is. Joining the military will also give you a variety of other skills to include leadership skill, guys, which is something that we're lacking in the world today. But it all has to start from somewhere. For me, it started at the age of 18, went through my military time, and now I'm out. I like to consider myself a decent leader, right? Another thing that you're going to get is some type of technical skill, whether it's freaking how to put a tire on or whether it's how to shoot a pistol, how to shoot a long gun. You're going to get some type of skill from the military. So joining now, if you don't know what you want to do with your life and you're just one of those dudes that's drifting through life, check out the military, man. It probably help you. And then another thing that I think the military does, which is pretty cool, is you get to travel. When you travel and you get outside this bubble that is the United States, you gain a lot of perspective as to what else is out there. I think everybody, in my opinion, I think everybody should at least serve 2 or 3 years within the military. I think every young man should do it. I think it should be a rite of passage when you join at the age of 18, you go to the military, you give back to this country, and you see how the other half lives. Once you do that, you could come out, do whatever else you want to do. I think every young man should do it, right? And if you are lost or if you come from a broken household, you don't know what you want to do, guys, again, in my opinion, you should just join the military, gain some perspective, and let it be what it be. And get some different perspective. I guarantee you'll be a lot more grateful and you'll be a lot more prepared to take on life, right? At least that's what I did whenever I was 18 and didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And here I am now, everything worked out for me. And now I'm here able to speak with you guys. And I honestly don't think it was that bad, right? Now I'm gonna talk to you guys about how my time in the service has prepared me for what I have going on right now. I've made a couple of videos. There's one out right now talking about transitioning out of the military and the experience that you gain from the military, how valuable that is, right? So I can tell you right now, guys, leaving the military after 20 plus years, I've been through the ringer. I've experienced, deploying to Iraq 3 months after getting out of basic training as a PFC, going down there, doing work, coming back, losing buddies there. Then I deployed to Iraq again, this time for 15 months, route clearance, did that, went to selection, got picked up, I did all of that stuff. And all that experience, all that stress, all that leadership, all that adversity has really helped me become an entrepreneur, right? The very first thing that I did was I started this YouTube channel. And of course, within that, there was a lot of challenges involved with that. One of the biggest thing was just posting videos, looking at them, nobody's watching them, trying to figure out how to get people to watch your videos, how to market. Like this whole thing of being on YouTube, a lot of people think that shit's easy. It's not. It's hard. It's probably one of the hardest things that I've done after leaving the Army, right? Is, trying to figure out how to make content and not sound like an idiot and getting it edited the right way and then putting it in front of a bunch of people that are going to judge you and get in the comment section. But with all that said, my time in the military has prepared me for it, right? Because you got to have thick skin. You got to learn to take feedback and not let it destroy you. And you got to be able to manage expectations, which is something that I learned in the military that was able to help me when I jumped in front of the camera and started speaking with you guys, right? So my military experience definitely helped when it came to that. Another thing was leadership, right? So everything that I have going on between YouTube, between the coffee company, between real estate, between podcasts, between the jiu-jitsu gym, leadership has been a constant pillar because I'm a big fan of, hey, if I'm able to communicate and get my point across, listen to whoever I'm sitting across, listen to what they have to say, take their feedback and digest it and give them feedback that's going to help them accomplish whatever mission I want them to accomplish, regardless of the field, leadership has always been important, right? So that's one thing that I was able to take from my special operation time into what I have going on right now. Is definitely going to be leadership, right? And then another one for me, guys, is stress management. Again, I have all these different things going on top of that. I got to be able to find time to spend with the family. I had a building burn down, you know what I mean? While I was going through my real estate endeavors, one of my buildings burned down and I'm rushing to the apartment complex, trying to figure out if any tenants were trapped in there, if they end up passing away or if they burned alive, and what my liability is going to look like and what I'm going to do now. I got, 6 families that don't have a place to stay. How am I going to handle it? Am I going to get sued? How am I going to rebuild this building? All of that fell under stress and how you're able to manage it, because I still had 24 of the units up and running and all the tenants are watching this building burn down. And now I'm like, holy crap, are they now going to pick up and leave because they're worried there's issues with the buildings and that's why it burned down? I had to figure out how to deal with all of that, right? And being in the military prepared me for it. I didn't fall apart. It was a battle drill for me. I went straight to work, right? I started putting people in hotel rooms. I started talking to tenants. I started giving property managers things that they needed to do. And it all worked out, right? But if I had never been through that before, I would never have known how to handle it. So having been there before, guys, that just helped me communicate a lot better and a lot easier. And communication is another thing that being in the military, being special operation, has really helped me to do, because not everyone can communicate effectively. That within itself is a art. It's a skill. It's something that you have to practice over and over again in order to get good at it, right? And a lot of people, hell, don't know how to do it. Right? It is what it is, guys. And last but not least, guys, before I close this one out, being in the military and going through all the things that I've gone through is really giving me perspective, right? It's really giving me perspective as to what's possible when you put your mind to it, what you can achieve. Endless, right? Again, none of this stuff would be possible, whether it's joining the military, going to selection, deploying and surviving, none of that would have been possible if I didn't have the right mindset. In order to get that mindset, you got to put yourself in a situation where you are under stress, where you're going through adversity. And the world that we live in nowadays, especially within the American bubble, doesn't provide that, right? Going to a No Kings rally is not stress. You need to join the military, find a way to test your mettle, find a way to go through adversity, find a way to overcome it, gain the experience, and then go tackle life, right? Guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for this section, right? I appreciate you guys. If you get anything out of this, like, subscribe. Keep in mind, greenberetchronicles.com. The mentorship program is live. Also, check out the merch shop. Grab you a shirt. Appreciate all the support, guys. Until next time, take care of yourself.